that's been huge for us. Like, so when Brant came on like a year ago, it really ramped up a lot of our creative ability with him taking over video content and filming and doing all those type of things. And then as it's continued, I realized he can't keep up with just the video work at the quality he's doing. So we hired someone to take care of like editing the podcast, which there's not a ton of creative to it, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's got to get done, and it does matter if it's done well, but there's no real creative process. Like you're just cutting back from camera to camera. It's work that needs to be done, and it eats time. Like there's no way to edit a 2-hour podcast without spending at least 2 hours.
Oh, dude, I do 1 minute videos for Instagram that take me 6.
Perfect.
I'm not very good at it. They come out like, I don't know, like you did it for like your high school reunion or something. You know, they're not very good quality, but I don't know. I'm getting better at it. I really do need a content creator that I could work with on a daily basis.
Yeah. I mean, dude, power of the internet. Have Abmat post something about looking for a videographer intern.
You know, I don't know a lot of people in St. Louis, so my networking out here is pretty limited.
Use the Instagram.
Yeah,
because someone that follows you may know someone in St. Louis looking for a gig.
You know,
That's how we found Brant.
I don't doubt it. Truly. Is it really?
In fact, I don't know anyone recently who's hired quality people that didn't locate them via Instagram.
Yeah, and then LinkedIn is a really good place as well. Like before this job, every job or internship I had previously was through LinkedIn, so it's not a bad way to. I mean, it wasn't a bad way for me, but I'm sure it's not a bad way for employers to find people either. But yeah, I actually found I have this job through Instagram. So yeah.
The thing I don't like about LinkedIn though is you can't sleuth. You know, you really have to.
And I mean, the platform isn't great.
You're exposing your interest in working with
like
that person.
If the government decided to open a social media platform, is what it feels like. It's like, well, it works. Fuck else do you want? No flashing zazz to it whatsoever, though.
We just started our Instagram last year, you know.
Really?
Well, about a year and a half ago.
Okay,
really.
so catch me up with that, Matt. I guess I don't know a ton.
Nobody does. Not one person. I mean, how deep do you want to get into this before our podcast starts?
Well, there was a day that you decided to make a thing, and now it exists. What was the day before that?
Oh, we're going. So you guys can just go ahead and.
So the Abmat was not my invention. I didn't create the Abmat. The Abmat's been around for over 20 years.
Got it.
It was invented by a gentleman named Frederick Koch. He created the product, and he started working with a guy named Kyle McCarter. Kyle McCarter is the father of my business partner, Austin McCarter. And he was, you know, he got into the fitness business because he was making the benches for the Total Gyms, you know, the old Chuck Norris Enterprise. And then,
well, which is easy to make a joke about, but there's probably shit tons of them.
Yeah. No, it was a huge success.
The quantity is gigantic.
And they really blazed a trail for fitness products, you know, in the new wave, because fitness products used to be sold in retail stores, and they started falling off of the edge of the world. You know, now we're down to Dick's Sporting Goods, you know, and they sell Dwayne Johnson's line. That's it. Some Nike products.
Yeah, that's
really
so
you're lucky if you can get a shotgun there and some fishing lures. But you know, so what we started doing when Fred started licensing the product to Abmat, working with Kyle McCarter, he had already started selling these fitness benches, so he had a name for himself as someone who can make a cushion product, and it kind of got into the CrossFit industry out of pure luck.
Just gangbusters.
Yeah. You know, Greg Glassman started using it. It became one of the first workouts in CrossFit, which was Annie. And it grew as the industry did. You know, what started with one location now has close to 13,000 worldwide. And just for reference, there's 12,000 Starbucks coffee locations. So it's a big brand. And all these gyms were buying 20, 30 of them at a time. And the product found success as a single product company. That's unheard of in the fitness industry.
And I mean, and at what rate would like an Abmat wear out? Because there's definitely a life to them.
About 5 years.
Okay.
For the standard ones. The new ones we just made that are foam molded, I don't know.
Look, you got to work this planned obsolescence a little bit better. Look at what Apple does. There needs to be an update that comes out in about 3 months before you can get an upgrade that ruins your phone.
That's the thing. I'm not trying to make my money off of selling you the same product twice.
Right.
I want to sell you another product. I want to solve more of your problems. I want you to buy a product from Abmat knowing its quality, and it's going to last a long time. You know, so the things that we make, they don't do 100 things. They do one thing. They do one thing well, because nothing in the world can do two things perfectly. You know, we make products to do one thing. We make it in the United States with American-made materials if we can. You know, some things come from China, but it's all manufactured in the U.S.
Yeah.
And when we can help it, you know, yes, we love American-made manufacturing, but the only way to make American-made manufacturing work is to be smart about it. You know, so that comes with, you know, sometimes outsourcing things. But no, we built our business model off of quality first over anything. You know, so when we reach a period of stagnation, my job's not to go out and create some fancy content to try to sell you my product again or to sell you another variation of it. I'm just going to go make something else.
Yeah. So in that way, we're similar, but the difference is you still sell Abmat.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they don't run out. Like with apparel, I can't.
Well, the reason we still sell Abmats is not just because they need to be replaced. It's because the industry's grown. You know, to go to 13,000 locations.
Yeah.
Think about that. That's 13,000 with each gym maybe has 100 members, give or take. But each gym has 30 Abmats. You know, the Abmat's been knocked off more times than you can count.
Right.
You know, but we own the trademark Abmat. What do you call the other products? Abmats.
Low back. Yeah, you essentially made a Coke.
Right? We're the Kleenex of the industry. Yeah. We've created a keyword, you know, and we don't go out and, you know, actively pursue litigation against these companies because they're strengthening the value of our trademark.
You know, there's an interesting story with that regarding Nintendo. So I guess like when Nintendo started blowing up and then Sega came on the market and Neo Geo did and like the other game systems, the tendency was that people used the term Nintendo to describe game system. They became that term. They fought it.
Really?
Yeah. So they started putting out other information to call them game consoles. They started coming up with another name for it so that they kept Nintendo as theirs. I just find it interesting, right? That you guys did the same, but love it.
It's just, there's nothing else you can call it, you know? So one of the things that we do is we're not marketers by any means. We're product developers. You know, tried and true. We don't know what to name things. You know, my first product I ever made was called the Ab Amigo.
Ab Amigo.
It's the cheesiest thing you could possibly think of. Dude. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you the story behind that. My budget when I started the company was $2,000 that I had borrowed from my brother. This is kind of my start in the fitness industry. I made this product to hold your feet down for doing sit-ups and you know, I was doing 50 sit-ups a day.
Yeah, makes sense.
I used my dresser to hold my feet down. I was the sit-ups and push-ups in the morning kind of fitness enthusiast.
Sure.
You know? And on one day, I was on doing my reps, and I got to 49 out of 50, and I broke my dresser.
Oh, no.
So the next day, I was like, you know, I got to do something. So I went to Home Depot, took my 90-year-old grandfather, got in the car, got some roofing angles, a piece of wood, and some insulation for padding. And I got a blowtorch and bent it with a vise with my 90-year-old grandfather with a brick that I'd found in the river to make the first leg of these Ab Amigos. And I slid underneath my bed and I was like, oh man, this works.
It works.
This is fantastic. You know? And then I started moving it around to see all these different places I could put it. I looked at the door. I was like, no, you know, because this door mounted pull-up bar was just making a big wave. And I slid it underneath the door and it worked perfectly. So I was like, this is fantastic. My brother came down the stairs and he said, where'd you get that? I said, I made it. He said, no, you didn't. I said, yes, I did. He said, you got to sell that. I said, all right.
All right.
Made it my definite purpose right there to sell fitness equipment. I was going to do anything in the world that I needed to do to make this successful. I don't care how long it takes. I don't care how much money it was. I don't care if it's reasonable financially. I'm going to make this work. And one thing led to another, literally 5 things that should have never happened that were pure luck and completely, it blows my mind that these things even happen to get me here today because it just doesn't make sense.
Sure.
If you were to go back in time and tell my classmates, you know, 10 years ago, Dylan's going to own a fitness company,
right?
They'd laugh at your face. You know, I was the dorky kid who collected stamps and comic books and ancient coins. And, you know, I wasn't athletic at all. I was, you know, overweight actually until I joined wrestling. But no, when I started making this Ab Amigo and, you know, I was trying to sell it, you know, doing what everybody else is doing. You know, I develop a product, try to figure out.
What year are we talking about?
This is, October 4th, 2016, I created the product.
Okay. So we're still in a relatively modern world.
Very, very, very. So this is not too long ago.
Yeah. Because if you're telling me 2002, like everything's very different.
Yeah, no. This is, I created the product. The first thing I do is file for a patent, right? Because you see all these people that talk about how they got screwed. And so I sell off my car. I sell off the car I was building. I sell everything.
To pay for the patent.
To pay for the patent and
Which
to get started.
is crazy fucking expensive, by the way. I went through all that.
Yeah, my $6,000 budget turned into 35 real quick. But long story short, I start developing this product and trying to sell it. I'm losing money on every single one of them. I sell my car. I borrow $2,000 from my brother, and I try to start selling Ab Buddies. AbBuddy.com was $2,000. And at the bottom of the page, at the GoDaddy suggestions, was Ab Amigo for 99 cents.
Yes.
And I was
changing the name.
All right, I'm going to go with my old, Miami heritage with a little Latin flavor, and I'm going with Ab Amigo. And I kind of liked it.
Yeah.
So I started trying to sell these Ab Amigos, and I didn't know what I was doing. I put them on Amazon. It takes 3-4 weeks to the first one to sell. And then, I put them on eBay and Craigslist. I didn't know where to sell these things.
Of course, I'm fucking everywhere.
I got a website, but just because I had one, nobody went to it. So I start spending money on Instagram and Facebook ads trying to, promote this product. And I figured I was losing about $12 to $17 every time I sold one for $29.99. And at this time, I have no money.
Sustainable.
At this time, I have no money. I had sold a car that I had been building for 6 years.
Hold on. Did you say you're losing $12 or $17 for every $30 Abmat or Ab Amigo?
Yeah.
Okay.
So even when someone paid me and I shipped it out, I was losing almost $20 every single time.
Sustainable businesses. They say.
Yeah. I told you, it didn't make any sense whatsoever, but I just kept doing it because I made it my plan,
Yeah, man.
And I didn't have a plan, and I told myself, you got to have something.
Here we're going to learn.
Yeah. So nonetheless, I'm making these things all in a warehouse that I'm renting about 50 miles away from my house in Vermont. For renting for about $300, hand making them, painting them, bending all the metal myself with a metal brake and my 90-year-old grandfather. And I had a great time doing it.
Yeah. So what type of stock or inventory, how many of these have you made and now have on hand?
Oh, so at this point I had made 100 my first run because all the material, I bought stock steel.
Just went to Home Depot and bought steel. Yeah, of course. So you're losing shit tons.
I'm losing tons of money.
There's 4 people who've made a markup on that steel before you've got to
Precisely. And so nonetheless, I'm losing money on all these things. And then I said, you know what? I got to improve the quality of these things, raise the price. I start to figure it out, right? So I get in touch with this metal bender. At this time, I had sold everything that I got. I had sold all my coins. I'm $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 into this personally, $2,000 from my brother. I got a loan on my mother's car for $6,000. So I got my mom's car on the line and $8,000 to my personal family members. And I'm still losing $15 every time I sell one of these things.
Holy shit. But they are selling.
I got to the point where I sold a couple hundred of them. I improved the quality. So I got in touch with a metal bender. Now I'm dirt broke and in debt. And I get a job working for Domino's, slinging pizzas, door to door in a college town, getting $0 tips to the face every 3 orders. It was miserable in the middle of winter, wearing, a little blue Domino's polo and some black shorts. It was awful, but I raised up the tip money, got $1,200, and I was able to get some actual perfectly machined metal bent legs that were powder coated rather than sprayed with a rattle can that I had in the garage for 6 months. But so I improved the quality of these things, and I got in touch with this company called Touch of Modern. It's this online catalog that sells.
Yeah.
You seen it?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's a cool company. And it was a suggestion from a friend that they might be interested in it. And this buyer calls me back and we talk about it. He's like, man, I really love the Ab Amigo. He's like, do you have any photos of it that you could share that are of better quality? I was like, no. I took these off my iPhone.
Right.
Those are my scrawny white legs. I didn't have a fitness model. And so he said, don't worry, we'll take some photos and everything. I need to know that you're going to be able to deliver on the product. I said, how many do you want? They said, about $5,000 to $10,000 worth. I'm going, yep, I could do it.
Yep.
The
answer is yes.
I'm thinking of Richard Branson. If someone gives you an incredible opportunity, you don't think, you just say yes and figure it out.
Goddamn right.
So I figured it out. At this point, I'm freaking out. Don't know what to do. I got this big event coming up. I don't know how many they're going to sell, but they told me to have anywhere between $5,000 and $10,000 worth on hand, and I'm still bending these things with a brick, hitting them with a brick, and
have we improved the brick, or is it still the same one?
No, it's still, it's on my desk right
Come
now.
on.
I'm going to build a mantle place someday and just put it in there. But No. So at this time, I'm kind of freaking out, and I'm trying to think of the life cycle of this product and what I'm going to do with it. And I wanted to get the product into Rogue Fitness, you know, because I know this is the company that's selling stuff. This is this new growing behemoth that is, you know, it's blazing a trail. And so I started changing the look of my product a little bit to make it look like a Rogue product. And when I decided I wanted to make a mat to go with my product, I tried to buy the domain name abmat.com, and it was taken. So I started thinking, who has this domain name?
Who is this son of a bitch?
I didn't know what Abmat was.
Right.
You know, this is still 2016. And I Google Abmat and I look at the product and I go, oh my, this is the perfect product to pair with mine. You know, one's perfect for back support. The other one's got your feet for, it's a total sit-up solution.
Yeah, you guys are fucking peanut butter and chocolate.
Exactly, man.
You guys are about to have a car crash and make Reese's peanut butter cups. This is brilliant.
And I'm sitting there and I scroll down to the bottom of the page. I kid you not. And I'm thinking, how do I get a hold of this company? And it said it right there in big letters. If you have the next great fitness product, give us a call. And I went.
And this was on Abmat's website.
This is on abmat.com.
Brilliant.
And I went, no way, it's that easy. You know, I give the phone number a call. No one picked up. So I was like, all right, this is just my luck. So I started trying to figure out who owned this company. Finally find out, and I find a phone number that was registered on their business license for when they filed for a business. And I call that phone number. And I got a directory that said, oh, for so-and-so, press 1, for so-and-so, press 2. And I was like, I'm looking for so-and-so. I press 2, and I get a hold of this guy, Kyle McCarter, Austin's dad. And he says, hello? I said, sir, are you by a computer by chance? He said, yes, I am. I said, I'd like you to go and type in abamigo.com. He said, okay, I'm there.
Brant, does that website still work?
No, it does not.
Damn it.
Okay.
It does not. It shouldn't.
Can we locate an Ab Amigo online?
Yeah, they're still for sale.
Pull them up, Brant.
I'm looking.
All right.
You could find them on rogue.com or you go under our website, abmat.com. There you go.
Right on.
That's the original right there.
Okay, so that's the original one that you're bending with a brick.
Yeah. No, that was not, that's machined by an actual
It's a fucking brilliant device.
So it was real simple. And you know, I made it for me just for my personal purpose, and other people were able to find use for it. You know, it's for, this is more for the beginner fitness enthusiast, someone who's just getting into their workout
I don't
routine.
hate it.
No, but
I'm going to be honest with you. Like,
I feel like this thing had to have killed for the past year with COVID stuff.
If I made this product in the 90s, I would have been as seen on TV billionaire.
For sure. For sure.
But the world's changed quite a little bit.
Yeah, you would have had to hire 10 people to do really bad sit-ups on the floor and not be able to, like, can you not do a sit-up?
And have Chuck Norris come in and endorse it.
I need you to walk into a room and trip over it violently and spill everything in your
Ab
path.
Amigo, right on. Okay.
No, so we turned it into actually a line of 3. So there's 3 Amigos. There's a mini Amigo, which is actually a really fun story, and there's a wall Amigo too that you screw into a wall, or a rack, or a stud.
Right on. Okay.
That's for, if you're trying to do weighted sit-ups, it's more for the.
Well, yeah, like if you've got a gym, you're not putting it in your room and you don't need it to ever move. Mm-hmm. If it can be allowed to live in a space forever, why make it movable?
So the mini Amigo is actually a kind of fun story. And it's one of the things that got me to where I am today, which should have never happened. So,
but like what I hear, right, is you had an idea and then you ran with it through completion, like through all the bullshit.
Oh.
And so while you're saying what got me here today, while it never should have happened, I believe that what you figured out how to sell, you just would have found it. If this wasn't it, you'd have still found it.
Yeah.
Like you have too much resilience to continue to push.
Yeah.
For at some point, if you would have run into the finality of like, yo, this isn't
Ask
working.
any of my ex-girlfriends. I'm persistent.
Good. Yeah, I think, it would have been great.
But no, so the mini Amigo was actually, I made it for Rob Gronkowski, believe it or not. But it's a strange story. When I was trying to sell the Ab Amigo, I tried to sell it to a company called Gronk Fitness. Gronk Fitness is Gronk's family started selling fitness equipment, and I was trying to sell them the Ab Amigo, and I sent it to, got in touch with his brother Dan Gronkowski. And
a whole gang of them.
Yeah, there's like 5.
I'm dealing with Chris currently because they run the ice shaker.
Chris is great.
Yeah.
I love the cup. But nonetheless, so I'm trying to sell these Ab Amigos to them, and I get an email that says, "Thank you for your interest. We're not looking to take on any new products at this time." So I went, rats.
Yeah.
You know, 2 weeks later, I'm moving from Boston to Miami, and I get on I missed my flight. I missed 2 or 3 other flights. I'm on standby, and I'm sitting there at this airport.
Wait, why did you miss the first flight?
I am really bad at missing flights.
Oh shit, this is like a thing.
This is a thing, man. Ask anybody that knows me.
I've never missed a flight.
I got to be on one tomorrow. Just remind me.
If I missed the flight, I wouldn't know what to do. I didn't even know how to get through like the initial checkout because I had never flown by myself.
Oh, that's right. I forget. Like I take full. I guess I just space on it now at like the frequency I've traveled.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, so not only with the outside sales job that I had starting in 2008 through my career in the Highland Games, like I flew 40 times a year for
Really?
15 years. Like it was no big deal for me to check into a flight while I was on a flight.
Did you have to travel or did you get to travel?
Toward the end was get to travel. Now it's get to travel.
Yeah.
But there was a stretch there that I had to travel.
I don't mind flying, and I'll tell you why. Because after that 4th flight that I had missed that day, I upgraded to a first class ticket.
Attaboy.
And I got on that plane.
Yep.
And who sits right next to me? Rob Gronkowski.
Get the fuck out of here.
Rob Gronkowski. I had no idea who he was. It was this big. He was this giant dude in this blue sweater with it was like I think he was wearing a Falcons hat. And
fucking
and
hell.
I was like, man, this guy's an athlete. I just don't know who, you know. And I was living in New England at the time, which is even more embarrassing.
Damn it.
So
You basically have Jesus next to you, other than Tom Brady. Like, there's not a better option.
But I'm sitting there, and this he's right in front of me, and he's got this guy with him, and I'm sitting there, and I see this girl walking by, and she's like, "Mommy, he's right there, he's right there." I'm like, "Okay, I know he's someone now."
Listen.
So I got up, I went to the restroom, and I come back, and I looked at him. I was like, that's it. I know who this guy is, because like a week or two before it was the Super Bowl, and his house had just been broken into, and I saw his face on the news going around all of New England. And I was like, that's Rob Gronkowski. And I was like,
You're the guy I was trying to reach.
What are the odds? You know?
That's a weird universe putting you in that alignment, right? Like you don't miss those 3 flights.
But think all these things that are adding up, and then I'm sitting there, and I'm still trying to work up the courage. I sit there for a 2.5 hour long flight, thinking, Dylan, are you going to say something?
TikTok, motherfucker.
Are you going to say something? And I finally said, you know what? If you don't do this, you're going to regret it for the rest of your life.
100%.
And so I worked up.
Because what's the worst? He says no. Who gives a shit?
Absolutely. And so I got up, and I told everybody like I was going to miss a flight just so I can get in front to have the opportunity to talk to him. And the flight lands, and I stand up, and I hand him my business card and said, "How's Gronk Fitness doing?" He said, "No one's ever asked me that." No,
that's a valid point.
I said, to be fair, I said, I don't know a whole lot about football. He said, but I was talking to your brother Dan a couple weeks ago, and I'd really like to make you a custom Ab Amigo. He said, cool. What's an Ab Amigo? Didn't expect him to ask me a question, but I said, turn over the card, and there was our picture of Crunch, which was it's actually a snow Yeti.
Okay.
His name's Crunch.
All right. That's your mascot.
That's our mascot.
I gotcha.
And he was doing a sit up under the door with an Ab Amigo. He's like, cool, man. I like it. Reach out to my brother Dan again. So I was like, all right. He asked me some.
Man, what a weird email. Hey, I ran into Rob on a flight. You sound full of shit.
That was the email. I swear to God. So he asked me some directions. I gave him some bad directions. I felt bad about that. But nonetheless, I got into my lift, and this is like 12 o'clock at night because it was a late flight.
He's a fucking millionaire. He figured out he's not driving himself.
He had a couple little Svedkas on his his pull-out tray. But nonetheless, I get in my cab and I fire off that email. It's like, hey Dan, I know this might sound weird, but I sat next to your brother Rob on a plane, showed him the Ab Amigo. He told me to reach out again. I'd like the opportunity to send you one. If you don't like it, don't call me back. Did we just go? Oh, okay. But so nonetheless, he sends me an email like 2 days later. He says, Dylan, your story checks out. Send it to us.
Yes.
I send it off to him, and then he gives me a phone call like 2 or 3 days later. He's like, hey, let's do this. So I was like, all right.
Fucking
So
way, man.
I gave them the exclusivity on our Amazon for those products. So if you go onto their Amazon page, there's pictures of Rob Gronkowski doing sit-ups with the Ab Amigo.
How fucking cool, dude.
Just completely fell into this, you know.
What a fucking
But
cool moment.
they're really cool guys. They're running a really cool company with what they're doing.
I mean, do you deal with them at all anymore on a
I do, Dan. You know, I only met Rob the once, and I've communicated with Chris several times, but you know, I got to get out there and meet him actually this year.
Well, they're in Dallas, right?
I think Dan's in Buffalo.
Okay, I know Chris is in Dallas because so we're going down to FitCon, which is really I think it's going to be the only expo that we bother with.
Really,
dude? The Arnold thing's a fuck. It's gross.
Never
and
been.
like you're not missing anything.
Really.
It's an experience. It's one of those like kind of feel like having a booth at the Arnold's like we made it.
You ever meet Arnold?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, a bunch of times actually.
I'd like to do that. That's worth going just for that.
I've met Arnold twice. Once, you know, around the booth and he makes his whole around through everything, shakes everyone's hand, shit like that. The other time I met him was we were doing the Highland Games at the Arnold, the first year they ever had it. And so they did this big to-do, not to mention it's 17, it's like it is outside right now. Mm-hmm. And we're throwing outside and like, there's no one fucking watching us do this thing. Like there's 5 events we're doing it, but they have this big hurrah of like kicking it off. And because I was the defending world champion, they had me on stage with Arnold. So I had to hand him a shield and hand him a sword. And then he went through some routine of like starting the game, which he didn't remember. The old guy who was running it, David Webster, believed he did. Of course he didn't. But like, yeah, before we started, we were backstage for like 10 minutes. And it was David Webster, myself, Arnold, and like Arnold's security.
Arnold's security. What do those guys look like?
Security guys from Ohio. And so like I had a kilt made because I knew that I was going to have a minute back there. So I had a kilt made in the Austrian colors. Okay. And gave it to him. And as soon as he got it, like we're chatting and everything, and he's really nice. And like he and David have known each other for 30 years. Mm-hmm. So they're catching up. And we're back there for long enough that Arnold sets the kilt down on the table. And like as soon as it got out of his hands, I was like, man, that's not going to leave this room, is it? And like I don't think it's not personal or anything. Like, you know.
Did you leave the kilt?
Of course. Oh. Super, super nice. Was really personal. It was cool seeing him talk to David, who was someone he knew. Mm-hmm. I'm one of 300,000 people he met that weekend.
Sure.
He doesn't fucking have any clue I am. Maybe could remember backstage before this. Maybe. Yeah. But like, nice enough guy, man. You know?
Well, I mean, I can't imagine. I'm not famous by any means. I can't imagine, you know, going around and have everybody just want to say how much they love your work. And
dude, it's got to be a really strange existence. Like you're the most famous dude in any room you've walked in since Predator. Do you know what I mean? Like since Conan the Barbarian, like since Mr. Olympia, like I just can't even fathom what that's like. Like how far off the grid do you have to go to find someone who's never heard I'll be back?
Yeah. And how many people ask him that?
Oh God, I can't even imagine the punishers that he deals with. As people who show up at expos and like hold weird conversations with you, these people are called punishers. They are Frank Castle all the way through their bones and just there to be like, hey man, when you're doing Highland Games, you know, which style cleats did you like the most? Like they want to know about really arbitrary details that don't matter about anything.
That you don't remember yourself.
No, it would be like, I got the term from my buddy, Andy Williams, who's a guitarist and also does professional wrestling. And he gave me the term because like the fans will come up and talk to him and these punishers who are just like, hey, what were you thinking about chord progression on this album when you guys recorded? Or like these details of a wrestling match that you took place in 4 years ago that you don't fucking have any idea, right? Yeah. Like, but those type of people. And like dealing with that the whole weekend has got to just be brutal.
Did you wrestle?
No, never. I have no combat sports in my background whatsoever.
Really?
Yeah.
I wrestled for 5 years.
No way. So like high school?
Yeah, middle school and high school.
Right on.
I had to stop after my left shoulder. I got 7 pins in the left one.
I went out for wrestling my senior year.
Really? High school?
High school. Okay. Yeah. Coach was asking us, wanted some of us to come out, and then ended up, there were like 3 or 4 of us. There were 2 of us, it was me as an offensive lineman, and then there was another guy who was a linebacker. I think Brett Burgess at the time was another guy who made all state. And so he was trying to have us come out for wrestling just because we'd probably do okay.
Yeah.
At the high school level, right? But ended up 15 kids from the football team came out for it because we were. And so the day of tryout that they put us through was so fucking bad that none of us went back the next day. I'm like, yo, I don't need this. I'm already got a track and field scholarship. I'm just going to go fucking focus on that. Fuck all this. It's the fucking hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life.
It really is, because I knew exactly where you're going with this story, because my coach did the same thing.
Yeah.
He tried to bring the football guys in because they're strong and they're natural born athletes, right?
Yo, I'm good for 3 seconds.
But they focus on building all of your core muscles, and with wrestling, it's these smaller, intricate muscles that you only use in a natural flowing movement, of grappling. So it really, really kicks your ass.
Oh, it was just conditioning too. You figure. My senior year of high school, I weigh 270.
You're kidding.
Yeah. So I've been 270 plus since I was 17, and now I'm 240.
Really?
Right. So this is the lowest I've weighed in my entire adult life.
I weighed $168 going into the 5th grade.
Yeah. I was, no shit. I was 175, 173 when I got to high school, and I put on 100 pounds in 4 years.
Really?
Yeah. Puberty worked well. 2 pounds a month the entire time I'm in high school.
My when I started wrestling in the 6th grade, I weighed 170 pounds. No, I'm sorry, 160 pounds. And I got down to 111 that season towards the end of the year. Yeah.
All right. So back to it. So now Gronk's involved. Gronk Fitness is now selling your product.
Yeah, so they started selling my product. Well, actually, it was a phone call. So I reached out to Austin because at this point in time, I had licensed my product to him and his father. So I'm getting 6% royalties.
So they're going to manufacture it.
They're manufacturing in the U.S. And I had flown to Rogue Fitness, and I met with their development team. They took on the product, and they were selling it on Rogue, and we were selling it through the Gronkowskis, and it was the phone call.
So you have multiple places manufacturing it?
No. It's being made right here at our factory in Lebanon.
Okay.
But Austin was making it, and I was just sitting back getting royalty checks for everyone they sold.
So Rogue's not also manufacturing them. You're drop shipping them to them.
We wholesale.
Got it.
So we manufacture it and sell it to them, and then they resell it to the end consumer. But long story short, we went through this for a few years, and I started making some more products. But it was the conversation with Gronkowski that showed these guys that not only can I make a product, I can sell it. I'm not a one-trick pony.
Sure.
So I started to get on their radar a little bit, and then we started making more products together. I was sitting out working. I was working on a yacht at the time. I was working for this billionaire, managing his yacht. Okay. Traveling around the world in the Bahamas for 3 months out of the time.
All right.
It was great. So
yeah, it seems great.
I'm living in Miami
on a yacht.
Not on the yacht, but I was living
near it.
I was living on Key Biscayne.
Okay.
And then we're going to this $10 million house in Key Biscayne.
What's this fucking billionaire do for a living?
He owns construction equipment. He's not a billionaire, but he's going to be close real soon.
Sure. But look, if you're in the 500 million or 501, I'll round you up. It's a lot closer than I'm going to fucking be.
No, he's one of the largest privately owned owners of construction equipment in the state of Florida.
Okay.
And he rents it out. It's a company called Action Equipment.
Got it. So like a UC, I know 3 or 4 different companies do this.
Very much like Sunbelt, but much better. They've got a really solid business plan. But nonetheless, I was working on this boat, loving life, living in South Florida and making products and licensing it to them. And we started doing this for a little while, and it was great, but all I wanted to do was make fitness equipment. It's all I wanted to do. I had this.
Oh, you got bit.
I got bit, man.
Did you get bit by the fitness equipment, or was it just making something or solving a problem?
It was solving a problem. And I recognized the industry in this new state where it's really just blossoming. It's like Silicon Valley right now for the fitness industry. The first gym opened up in the United States in the 30s, 40s.
Yeah.
Kellogg didn't really start studying the diet until the early 1900s.
Oh, Kellogg.
Oh, Kellogg.
What a helpful fella he was with those dry bran flakes.
It helped for a little while.
That's right.
But nonetheless, so I got bit by this bug of, building things and solving problems. And I liked who I was doing it with. You know, I knew what I was good at. And if a group of scientists were to get together and try to build the perfect business partner for me, it would be Austin McCarter.
Right on.
You could not think of a better person.
Now I got to have Austin in.
Yeah, you do. I mean, we're so completely different.
Right.
If we went to high school together, we would have never shared the same table. You know, he probably wouldn't have liked me. I probably wouldn't have liked him. But, you know, we found this passion of working together. And what we do is we amplify each other. Both of us can do the job well on our own, I think. But together, it's like 6 of us.
Oh, man. Dude, there's nothing cooler. Like, so Bonnie and I talk about that same idea, like with our relationship, that for sure it's a 1 + 1 = 3. You know, just meaning that the sum is greater than the parts.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's the same as I felt with everyone adding to the team. So yeah, that's the good stuff.
It's someone that challenges you, you know, and holds you accountable to your own actions, which Austin is such a good natural born leader, you know. So nonetheless, I'm working with him on all these projects, and it's real easy to work with him. We got a really good rapport going, and I had heard on Instagram, I saw an Instagram ad that Shark Tank was coming to Miami for auditions.
Okay.
So I'm thinking, okay, this seems interesting. I call Austin and I said, how would you like for me to audition for Shark Tank? He said, go for it.
Why not?
Yeah.
What's the negative there?
So I went to Home Depot and I spent $150 and I built a little tiny studio, like a mobile studio. So I built a tiny door frame that looked like it was from The Hobbit. I put some carpet down, put a doorknob on it, you know, and I put it on a big piece of plywood so it had, you know, some structure to it, and put some wheels on it. And I went down to the Miami Expo, and I'm sitting there in line
with a
at
door.
6 o'clock in the morning with a door. This is my second time auditioning for Shark Tank, by the way.
What bonkers shit is out in this line? Like, I know you've built the door, so.
Oh, you see the coolest things in the world there, and you also see the dumbest things in the world.
Sure.
Some of those things, you look at them like, oh man, I can't compete with that. No. And then you see these other guys like, man, I got this.
I'm doing better than them.
But nonetheless, I auditioned for Shark Tank, and I got called back. You know, and then I got called back again and again, and it looked like we were going on. You know,
what a fucking process!
Yeah, it was it's 6 months.
Yeah, and Stan Everding's told me the same thing.
6 months.
Like,
it took.
Man, for it to be like, you walked in and pitched them your idea, like, yo, they know the whole fucking story before you walk in that room.
Yeah, no, yeah. And
they know the financials. They know all of it.
100%.
Like,
they asked questions about our business that we didn't know. We had to figure it out. We had to go into Google to learn what they were looking for. I'm not kidding you. But nonetheless.
I'd be so bad at that. I'd be like, I don't know, man. Things are going good.
But the conversation started to turn because I was an inventor that was licensing my product out that represented them for a Shark Tank audition. They're like, what happens now if we get on? Yeah. What's the value of Ab Amigo compared to Abmat? You know, how do we parse this out? So we ended up just making a deal where I would come in and transfer my licensing agreement for an equity stake in the company.
Oh.
Basically merged.
Right.
And I liked it. They made me an offer. I asked them for a little bit more. They said, okay. And then I put a little contingency to buy some more.
Nice.
So I bought some more, and I worked that off through new products. So all the new products that I brought in, I would assume basically put it in escrow, 6% of the sales until that's paid off. We were able to pay that off within a year. Come the pandemic, I'm working for the multimillionaire or billionaire, if you will, at his office. I told him I wanted to move to St. Louis and make fitness equipment. He said, no, you don't. I said, yes, I do. He said, no, you're going to come work for me. I said, no, I'm going to St. Louis.
I prefer not.
He made me an offer I couldn't refuse, and I started working for him at his company. And don't get me wrong, I learned an enormous amount. It was an incredible experience. I don't regret it one bit.
Being around anyone who's that high of a performer, there's so much to sponge.
Yeah. And, you know, he would give me books, like read this, give me a book report. So he really turned me into...
So more mentor as well as...
He was really a mentor, and I owe him a lot. But nonetheless, come pandemic, Austin calls me and says, Dylan, we're 10,000 Abmats on back order right now.
Ooh.
I need you to come out.
What, do you need me to start sewing? What is it I'm supposed to show up with?
He says, I said, when do you need me? He said, can you come tomorrow?
Yeah. Now.
So I give him my 2-week notice. You know, actually, I told him I'm leaving tomorrow. He said, you're going to stay 2 weeks. I'm like, yes, I am.
Right. Sorry. Correct. Sorry, I misspoke.
Yeah. But nonetheless, so I come out 2 weeks later and we get to work. And since then, I've bought a larger stake of the company and we've become more partners. And, you know, I work as I manage the new product development, and I help build out manufacturing processes. I do a lot of the sales in terms of dealing with social media marketing. I do all of our Instagram. We didn't have an Instagram a year and a half ago.
Sure. Which is crazy to me because like you guys have one of those items that I've been aware of since CrossFit came about.
Yeah.
Right. And so I don't remember there not being an Abmat.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, well, fuck, these guys have been at it for 30 years.
We're established.
Yeah. Right.
And it was out of pure luck, and the truth of the matter is single product fitness companies shouldn't exist. They don't, the business model is not sustainable.
No.
Because you can't be a direct to consumer company, because what's the cost to acquire a customer today? About 10, 15 bucks, depending on the company. What are you going to do? Sell one $30 product that lasts a lifetime? It's a horrible business plan.
It's not great. You need some obsolete.
So
you need
the company before Austin and I got together was 100% wholesale. We sold to companies that sold to people. One product.
Yep.
And they did some contract manufacturing for like the aerospace industry and whatnot, and anything to pay the bills.
Yeah, anything.
Right? But the Abmat was really their only product, with a couple others that are pretty cool, but not fitness related. So nonetheless, I come in with this product and kind of add the real secondary product, the first extension to their product line.
Right. So the Ab Amigo being
the second product. And
and they work so well together. It's not like you were.
They do.
Yeah. You both are into ab things.
It made sense, and we're selling to the same customer. So it was basically do you want some fries with that type order? It's going in the truck anyways.
Right.
So nonetheless, I started realizing that after we started making more products together, I failed, but there's success in my failure. I recognize that there's other companies that are probably doing the same thing, because I'm sitting there on Instagram seeing all these great, phenomenal products. And I'm thinking, how in the world could they succeed with their model when I know for a fact it can't work with mine? And it's not for lack of trying.
So the direct to consumer.
Direct to consumer. And I'm thinking, man, I wonder if any of these companies are in the same position. So I started calling around these inventors that I saw on Instagram who made products that I thought were cool. And I kind of illustrated my story and asked if theirs was similar. They said, you hit it right on the nail. I said, we found a way to solve that problem, and we've established ourselves to make our own products and own the pipeline to make profitable products. How would you like for me to take over your product? We'll manufacture it and pay you a royalty. And I said, we could pay you out a better royalty than any other company can offer.
You'll make more doing this than you doing the direct.
You're losing money right now, and you're spending an enormous amount of time doing it. Why not let me take it over for you and do more of it with my distributors? And this is the deal I'll make with you. Give me 6 months to make more than what you're making for yourself than you're doing right now. And if I can't do that, I'll tear up the contract, walk away. If we're ever in the same town, I'll buy you dinner.
Heck yeah.
But right now what I can offer you is an opportunity to make money off of your product. I could pay you a higher royalty than any other company can, because I'm not paying for ads.
Right.
I'm selling to other people. So, and the fact that I make fitness accessories, we can sell to everybody. We do sell to everybody.
Right.
Everybody sells the Abmat.
Other than what? Just the one deal that Gronkowskis has with.
Yeah. He's got the exclusivity on the Amazon, but I still sell him to all these other companies.
So only through Amazon.
Yeah. Fuck. So, which is great because his brother's got the celebrity page. But nonetheless, what we're able to do for these small companies is incredible, because yes, I care if you got a patent, you're going to get a bigger royalty if you have a patent, but I care about the relationship. We don't invest in products, we invest in people. So we don't put terms on these things. It's for life. As long as you're working with us, you're going to be getting money. So right I value what you've done forever, as long as I'm doing it.
Noted, Brant, we can invent a thing.
You can invent a thing. You can, and truth of the matter is we even facilitate ideas.
My one-shot invention didn't pan out great, but I got it manufactured and I still sell it.
Which one is that?
It's called mobility sleeve.
Yeah. For the kettlebell.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. That's my one thing I shot at.
I do like it.
It's worked.
I have one. Actually,
yeah.
at the
Right
office.
on. I
Let's
appreciate
make
it.
that, but you just wrap your whole body in it.
Oh man. And then do you roll on
yes,
people?
you roll around.
Oh no.
That's interesting.
It's just it just looks like one of those motion capture suits with the little balls on it.
That's exactly what it is. I'm the idea guy, obviously.
Perfect.
But nonetheless, so what we're able to do for all these inventors is facilitate a roadmap to success for them with very little to absolutely no risk. And the more we're doing this, that we're basically consolidating inventors and creating like an inventors guild. We're representing these people by giving them the best options for their company. By not competing with all these other companies that make racks, barbells, and weights, and all these other core products, we could sell to all of them. So it kind of solidifies our name in the industry because all of our products are the name brand products. They're the ones everybody sells.
Right.
Everybody else builds their products around ours. They don't. In order to keep the quality, you have to sell the quality accessories. So even if you wanted to make cheaper racks or better racks and make your own Abmats or some of our various products, you're going to seem inferior to the other companies out there.
You can't call it an Abmat.
You can't call it the Abmat.
Yeah.
So what are you selling?
No, that's a very, very interesting.
We found a way to make single product businesses successful by consolidating. And we're doing it off of volume, so we're not trying to make $1 million off of one product.
No, dude, the same way I feel about apparel. If you're going to bother trying to get into the apparel game, realize you're playing a quantity game.
Yeah.
If you want to make money, you got to sell a ton of it.
Sure.
So figure out scalable business from start. Mm-hmm. That's been the only thing that's helped us a ton.
But what we're able to do is ensure that their products will last longer than their interest in it. So it'll live on,
Sure.
And we're able to sort through them and find the good ones, the ones that just make perfect sense. Like I said, the things that we make do one thing.
Right.
I'm not interested in the Bowflex that has 50,000 workouts you could do with it. Great, more power to you. I hope you're successful. I just want to sell the things that solve those little tiny irritating problems that we all find in the gym at any level. So we're jumping around through training methodologies to try to increase our reach. We had a big stake in the CrossFit industry for a while. Now we're trying to branch into recovery. You've seen our tempering table and our massage gun holder. It's like a back scratcher for the space age.
It's a fucking great idea though. Like you did answer a problem. The biggest problem with those massage guns is I can't reach the area that I'd really like to have worked on, like my low back.
And if you do, as soon as you go like this, you're activating all the muscles in your back.
Yes, you're already doing bad.
So the idea came to us from Travis Fleming, the chiropractor.
I'm sure I went and saw him today.
Did you really?
Yeah, my right side, my QL from my hip being jacked up and the knee replacement, like it's just so bound that it just takes a lot for it to chill out.
Really?
Yeah, it's just not happy all the time.
Travis was every single time he comes to the office like once every week, and I always have him adjust my neck. I love it when he shows up.
And he's another dude that's wildly creative,
very creative, especially now. He's like on a creative rampage.
Yeah, I talked to him a lot about it today. I want to have him on, because what he's doing is neat. The stuff he's making and then now pitching and stuff like that. It's super.
And that's
cool.
what he comes to. He comes over to talk to us and ask for advice and try to pick our brains, and we help him 3D print things at the office and whatnot. And I'm really happy with what he's doing. But no, he came to us with this problem, and he had a slight idea of how to solve it. And we kind of we went back and forth, and we came up with many different variations. This was a 1-year process. Mm-hmm. We don't just move forward with a product the first time we have an idea. We wait till we have a good idea. But it took a year, and the reason why we were working on a rack mounted one. Mm-hmm. But we had a problem with it. There was vibration. There was what type of rack, the type of hardware. So we made a magnetic one, and it's bad to the bone. But it was really expensive by the end, and you had to move it around. So whenever you want to move your back around, you had to lower it or take it off, higher it. And so nonetheless, we started toying around with some different options. And I was on a boat vacuuming underneath the couch, and I pulled my shoulder, and I was like, "Man, this thing really hurts." And so I went to Home Depot that night and got a whole bunch of different pipes and put this first hook together, then put my hypervolt in there and started massaging my back out. And I was like, wait a minute.
This works.
This is perfect.
Yeah.
I'm so relaxed. It's like rowing a boat. And if you saw the original prototype, you would laugh in my face.
I'm sure it weighs 40 pounds. It's just made out of black pipe that you can add a 45 to it and screw it on. You would laugh at me
the same way everybody else did.
I love it.
Travis didn't like it.
Yeah.
Austin didn't like it. They kept making fun of it, calling it the hyper horn.
No.
I was like, they're like, it looks like a tuba. And I was like, wait till you try it. I sent them the prototype. It cost me like $100 because it was so weird.
So big.
They're sitting there trying it on, and they FaceTime me like, Dylan, I'm not going to lie to you. I feel amazing. And I was like, I told you would, so we just got to find a way to make it pretty, and it's still not pretty, but it's functional. It needs
the telescope.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to make it affordable enough.
Yes, I understand. I understand. I just threw a solution out that's like, yeah, no shit. Too bad physics.
But nonetheless, I that's what I love about it, because it's the only post that we've ever posted on Instagram that has 237 likes and 237 shares. You know, so half those people are think it's a joke and just like absolutely like a prank. People have actually said, "Is this an April Fool's prank?"
Is this April Fool's joke?
You know, and I'm sitting there. And,
Well, Travis had one in his office today, so.
and I laugh because they feel amazing.
Yeah. It's great. There's not an elegant looking. There's never going to be a very elegant solution
Listen,
to it.
could there be something prettier? Absolutely. But
I mean, look, a really elegant solution is magnetizing it and sticking it to a thing,
yeah,
but it doesn't work the same as this.
the truth of the matter is I'm not a product designer. I'm a product developer. I can make something work.
Yeah.
I'm all about functionality. You know, it's functionality, convenience, price, and then aesthetics for me. You know, and the aesthetics really come last. It's basically, I created the function. How can I round it out just to make it a little bit prettier?
Sure.
I'm not trying to think of how to reinvent it to make it look like it was made by Apple. You know, we don't have those kinds of resources. We sell foam.
It's not all pretty machined parts
we
and like
basically
CNC, this
put
nice
pillowcases
CNC
over
arm.
foam the entire day.
Yeah.
That's what we specialize in.
But you do it better than anyone else.
We do. And
is really
it's because we
cool.
do it local, you know? So one of the things that we've benefited from during this pandemic, which I had no idea how this was going to affect my industry.
Yeah, sure.
I was
dude.
too worried
in
about
March. I was fucked. in March. I was like, oh, that's it. I don't sell a single thing people need.
Yeah.
This isn't going to be great.
I was worried about my 93-year-old grandfather, you know? But nonetheless, we're an American-made manufacturer. When everybody else sold out the first week, we just scaled up. They're waiting on shipments to come from China, and guess what? They're shut down for 4 months. Everybody else has been out of stock. Abmat has not gone out of stock.
You guys are crushing it.
We are tired.
Yeah.
My left eye's been twitching for 2 weeks. We're exhausted. I haven't had a proper night's sleep.
man.
I'm up until 12 o'clock at night working at times, you know?
Back to that 4 months ago when you couldn't find anything to do.
I envy myself those days.
Right.
I
Fuck were you
miss those
thinking?
days.
What were you thinking? You didn't appreciate it. It's like yelling at the little kid on Billy Madison. He's like, you got to change.
But no,
Don't ever say you want to be busier.
careful what you ask
Yeah,
for.
no shit.
But no, it's good for me because, you know, like you, I'm sure you got to be doing a million things to get 100 things done, right?
I'm also at this point, I'm done lying to myself, pretending that I don't want a million things to do.
Yeah.
Because I'm for sure happiest, like running full speed, spinning 4 plates.
Yeah.
Now at 5, I want to kill everyone in the room, and at 3, I'm bored to tears.
Yeah.
So it's a real fine line, but right now it feels like I've been running with 6 or 7, but I'm getting better at running.
Sure. You know, I've the more I have on my plate, the more I get done. You know, if I have one thing to do, it's not getting done.
No, I'm the same way. I will totally push it off. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I got it. If today I just have to go to the store,
Yeah. That's not
there's a
happening.
pretty good chance I'm just not going to go.
No,
That's not
man.
happening.
No, I'll be like,
Inst-
well, the couch
Instacart
is
that
right
stuff.
here. Yeah. Have you seen this couch? It's amazing.
Yeah. You got a 6-foot beanbag chair about 30 feet
I
from
have
you.
2 of them at the house.
Do you really?
Dude, the greatest thing. So for our giveaway for February with Hate Brand, we're giving away one.
I'm entering.
Yeah, you should just.
I'm in.
You should do it, dude. They're a wonderful purchase. Those things and the Galaxy lights from Amazon that you can color your room, also an excellent purchase.
Is that a plug?
I don't work with them, but they're awesome.
Did you hear Amazon's doing affiliate fees now? Or they're doing affiliate
I've
percentages?
been hit a couple times, and I just haven't filled it out for whatever reason. Like to do,
They've reached out to you?
yeah. So I got hit to do like me post the things I like to Amazon, and if anyone buys from that list, I would get a cut.
Yeah.
Which makes sense to do because, I mean, like the amount that Bonnie and I get asked, like, hey, where did you get X? The answer is always Amazon.
Really?
Dude, I order everything from Amazon. Why would I go to a different website? I can have a hammer and fucking kids' balloons from a birthday and then a bunch of weightlifting equipment all sent in the same cart with one click. I can't make myself deal with the inconvenience of going to 3 different websites.
The premium products, though, don't often find themselves on Amazon.
I'm not often buying premium products. I need
The
9
essentials.
charger bricks, a bunch of USB cords. I need 30 Philips Hue bulbs. Yeah, Amazon's the place.
I hear you.
Because I'll go to Home Depot and be like, Sick. They have half of the amount that I need.
But as a business owner, do they not scare you?
A little bit.
So your business is, like you said, it's in limited runs.
Yeah.
So you can't really do that on Amazon really efficiently, can you?
No, I can't ever move my business to Amazon. It just won't work.
You don't sell on it at all?
Nope.
Nothing?
Never have.
Really?
No.
So how did you get into hate brand goods? Was it ever love brand at
No. So we've been direct to consumer.
Okay.
The whole jump. We've never sold wholesale. It started in 2014. I had written a few books by this point. I had won 2 world championships in the Highland Games. And one of the books I had written was about the Highland Games, training for it. And I wrote about a section called The Hate.
Okay.
And this is own personal motivation, mentality, philosophy behind training. And it is this concept of self-improvement through a bit of self-loathing, like not tolerating your own bullshit enough. So the idea was, like hate yourself
to do something
enough
about
to
it.
do the work.
Okay.
That if you're going to pretend that this fucking matters,
That's good hate.
hold yourself. Yeah, exactly. Hold yourself accountable. The example we always used was this thing my brother and I talked about with different athletes or whoever it was. And the easiest is like Jerry Rice.
Okay.
He's this best of all time, Pro Bowler, and you'd still hear stories about even toward the end of his career where he's up at 4 a.m. still running routes and like catching bricks and like doing the heavy shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, when that guy gets up at 4 a.m. and there's a fucking dresser full of Pro Bowl rings and like, Super Bowl rings and like Hall of Fame stuff, and like to get up at 4 a.m. and go out there to run those routes, like he hates himself more than I do.
Yeah.
And like, there's something about that. And like, so fucking hate yourself enough to do the work, man. Make sure that it matters to you. Because he's not getting up at 4 a.m. to impress someone else.
Yeah.
It has to be because he loves it. And so that's really where the ethos of everything came, was that just like, man, get better. That's all we got to do is stick with getting better and commit to better. Every day we want to be better than we were the day before. Not the best we've ever been, but better than yesterday. And over a long enough timeline, that progress adds up. So that's the general ethos of it. And 3 years into that, I've been selling some books, and really had just planned on writing more books, which I still do. And then Phil, my manufacturer, hit me up and he's like, hey, have you ever thought about selling shirts? I see some people asking. And I'm like, no, I don't sell any fucking shirts. I have a job at the time. I'm working in the oil and gas industry doing outside sales.
Okay.
So I did that for 10 years. I had full career there, making good money. Job, I work from home. Like I have time and I'm getting to travel and compete. And so in 2014, I start doing this with Hate because he's like, you should do some shirts. And I'm like, it seems like I don't have time. Like I travel too much for work and to compete. Like I can't go to the store every day.
Sure.
Or I can't go to the post office every day to ship shit, much less 3 times a week. And he's like, well, what if I did it all and then shipped all for you? I'm like, well, that eliminates a problem.
Okay.
And I was like, well, let's see how it goes. So
You have my interest.
I'm like, so what do I need like initial investment?
Yeah.
And he says, he's like, well, why don't we do a pre-order? So I got with a buddy, I sketched up a design. We got it put into an Illustrator file. A buddy of mine who
Do you do most of your designs?
Yes.
Okay.
Even still, I do pretty much the rough concept is mine.
Who coined kick today in the dick?
That's a me.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Genius.
So even like the rough concept still, like I come up with the verbiage on the shirt and typically what I want the graphic to be. And for the most part, I can sketch on paper and get my graphic designer, whether that's Drew with Slash or Kyle and Wild Giant. Like I can give them
Wild Giant.
Yeah. I can give them a pretty good target of saying like, I know exactly what he wants.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's better than me calling them and being like, I need something cool.
Yeah.
Cool is useless.
No, yeah. I got a graphic designer that's phenomenal that I work with, but I often send him a drawing, like this is what I want. Can you make it better? He's like, absolutely.
Yeah,
and he'll send me something back very similar to that. But
yeah, and that's how that process works for me. And so from that point on, me and my buddy Dan Marino, who was doing
say Dan Marino.
Dan Marino is his name. Yeah, he was doing web. He was essentially like doing everything for Sorenex at one point. Like as soon as Sorenex realized like they needed to updo their website and all this type of thing. So this is like middle of 2014. So I got Dan to help me do a design.
Yeah.
And That's what we started with. So we opened a pre-sale, sold shirts for 2 weeks and maybe sold 100 shirts, and then took the profit and then made inventory. And now we're selling shirts. And so, I mean, give or take.
How long have you been doing this?
October 2014.
Okay, I came across you about 2 years. About 2 years ago, I think, is when we really first started talking.
Yeah.
Right when you were going up to Iceland.
Yeah.
That's when we first started reaching out to you because you found out we were in St.
Yeah,
Louis.
I was like, holy shit.
And you reached out. We started talking a little bit, but no, I've been following you for a few months before that because I'd come across Hate Brand Goods because I think it was probably Basement Brandon. You know, his banner in the back that got me on. Into looking at
Brandon
you.
Campbell's a fucking great guy, man. He's
Really great
always
guy.
had our back. I'm excited to bring him out once we get everything all.
Well, let me know when that happens.
Oh, for sure.
So, nonetheless, I remember when I first came across your brand, I was like, what is HVIII? I was like, you were HVII to me for like 3 months.
Dude, I'm that way to everyone. I had a meeting, Wednesday with someone's agent.
Yeah.
And we're talking about things, and he's trying to figure out a way for us to work together. And I mean, and he says, he's like, we've liked what you stand for with HV3. And I'm like, it's pronounced hate. And like, there's this super awkward silence. And I'm like, I realized I named it something stupid.
Your sale's over.
Yeah. I mean, well, then not only that, like, I realized I named it something stupid.
Yeah.
Or that people aren't going to pronounce.
You're
right?
talking to the Ab Amigo over here.
Right. It would probably make sense at this point, Brant, for us to do a little bit of maybe some brand work, like for brand awareness content to say, like,
how about a shirt that's
yeah.
HVIII?
We gotta do a lot of brand awareness content.
I know.
But no, I finally, it was when you were talking about your company, I was like, oh, with Hate Brand Goods, it was that one time I wasn't watching, Instagram videos with the sound off at work, pretending to be working. So it was finally when I was home and I was able to turn up the volume that I finally figured it out. But
yeah, I don't take it personal whatsoever that people don't know what it is.
Hey,
For me, I read that as it's a thing I fucked up.
I followed you.
Sure,
still.
it's amazing that it's worked despite people don't know what the fuck how to pronounce it.
We had,
but also I'm really glad that now where we are throughout this year that I don't have a company named Hate.
Sure,
I would have had to pivot real weird.
Yeah.
At some point. Either we change it completely and just put a fucking line through it, which I guess is what our logo looks now. Or we lean in.
Yeah.
And I don't know that that's
double
the route
down.
Yet. Brant, we're selling tiki torches. It's going to get weird around here.
We're doing hate times 2. Hate squared.
Oh God, man.
Hate squared.
But yeah, that's and so, from there it's been figuring out the business model of like how many things can we sell, how often can we sell it, what's the quantity. And I looked at it as like I've got 2 type of customers. I have new customers and I have returning customers. And we have about a 74% return customer rate.
Really?
Yeah. And so, which I think that seems positive.
Who does your marketing? Do you do it?
We do it, but we've now started paying a company named Impact. And so they handle like our Facebook advertising and everything else. But other than that, like our actual Instagram video content, we do all of it in-house.
Okay.
So they handle our paid promotion type stuff, marketing.
We just launched a website like January 15th.
Okay.
It's the first time we've ever tried a direct to consumer push, and it's pretty crazy. We've in the past 3 weeks.
Why not?
It makes sense now. It didn't 3 years ago when the lifetime value of our customer was $30. But now we sell so many products, we work with so many inventors, and we've developed so much that we have 20, 30 products now. So the lifetime value. I
love that Abmat is now a bigger name, that you're putting it on things that have dick to do with abs.
Exactly. It's the Abmat company.
It's incredible.
We're leveraging the brand that is resolute in the fitness industry, and quite frankly, we believe all fitness, no matter what you're doing, should start at the core. So might as well start it with what started it all, the core, the Abmat. So, nonetheless, but the lifetime value of our customer now is so much greater. It's in the thousands of dollars because we sell a lot of different products, and that's
I guess just
growing.
as education for the audience, like what all do y'all sell now? I know that we've started getting some stuff from you guys, which I'm super pumped on for dope.
Yeah, we hooked it up pretty good.
It's
Those
cool,
boxes
man.
look great.
Dude, they look so good.
Yeah,
They look so good in that shot
Dude,
that shoot we did.
The photo shoot, the boxes look so good.
You're gonna like the
I was
crash
super
courses,
happy.
too.
Yeah.
So no, we're selling the Abmat line, which is several different variations. We got, we just molded the Abmat right before the pandemic. We created a molded version of the Abmat that is made out of antimicrobial foam.
Yeah.
Out of
okay, so now it's
foam.
not covered.
No, we still sell the covered one, the original.
So it's kind of like the med balls now. So
med
it's
balls.
just high density foam.
So we made it out of a single piece of foam. So we basically just got a giant aluminum block and carved out an Abmat.
Antimicrobial now seems very important.
Very important. So it's basically a waffle iron that you inject foam into, and it out pops your Abmat.
No, a buck would be the other way.
I don't know what that is.
Mold, I think a buck would be as if you were forming something around it.
No, it's a mold. So it goes into a block. And nonetheless, so we started making these molded Abmats that are doing great. We just found a way to actually make them a little bit softer by changing the chemistry around. So now they feel 100% identical to the original Abmat.
And you guys are foam
test.
injecting in?
No.
Okay.
These are coming out of Michigan.
Got it.
What our response was for this was the Abmat had been losing money for years before Austin and I got there. It wasn't a profitable business. So we had to raise the price of our Abmats, not substantially, by $3. But we didn't want to do that and price
Which
ourselves.
is essentially 10%.
Essentially. So, but our margins were slim. Slim. Single digit slim. And nonetheless, what we ended up doing was we made a pact. We weren't going to increase the price of our product until we had a better option at the same price point. So we found a way to mold this product. We spent a large amount of money developing all this tooling so that we can do it. To lower the cost ever so slightly, but provide a better quality product that will last a lot longer.
But that's such a double whammy, right? To success.
It's a double win, So it took us a longer amount of time, obviously, to come to market, and we kind of ate shit for a little while because of it. But when we released this product, it opened up a whole new opportunity for us. We had a product that we were making money on now, so guess what? We have cash flow, So we started working with other inventors and bringing them in and representing their products, making these guys a bunch of money. And we started making some more money too. So now we have more money to invest in innovations, so the more money we've made, the more money we've invested into improving a product, so no longer are we just seeing if we can make it in-house. We're going out outsourcing, investing in tooling and spending large sums of money just up front to see if a product will work, like that medicine ball. That medicine, nearly $250,000 were spent developing
In no
that
way do I
ball.
look at that medicine ball and think that's an easy start to finish. I've tried making a few things and I know what my mobility sleeve looks like in quality compared to either one of those. And it's I'm all right. I'm on step 2. I just said, this will work. We'll go here.
But it's ending up, it's working out great because we're able to create now even better products, improve upon our other products. Because our products are never done. As soon as we have an idea to make it better, we do it. It's not like...
could you do a whole foam box, like a whole injected molded box now? Or are they not dense enough?
So the problem is weight,
They get super heavy.
Super heavy. Like that 20-pound medicine ball?
Yeah, that's just
Picture
foam.
that the size of the box. That's going to be a 300-pound box.
The 3 medicine balls I have, we have a 10, a 14, and a 20.
Yeah.
They're not different diameter, though, are they?
They're all the same.
Right. So you have different density foam.
Yeah.
Okay.
That foam was created in Germany. It was completely created just for this medicine ball. It never that foam chemistry never existed before.
Yeah, because I'm thinking now, if you had lifting blocks, would be cool to make that material out of.
So tried it.
Too heavy.
The cost is extraordinary.
Perfect. And they're really heavy, so they're hard to ship.
Yeah. So what we made is a topper that goes on top of lifting blocks. But we also sell crash cushions, which a lot of people use.
Those are super sick.
Those are made out of a Rebond foam, which I love because it's a recycled foam. It's very eco-friendly, and they hold up great.
Dude, there's nothing better for like log or strongman stuff.
And people ask me what's the longevity of these things? I'm like, I sent some to the world's strongest man in Iceland,
yeah.
and I still see him on Instagram, so I think you're okay.
Dude, when we first got to use them for that meet was really fun.
Really?
Yeah.
Austin, he's still joking about it. He's still mad about it. It costs $700 to mail those things.
I know it. I've sent stuff to Iceland. I'm very aware of what having those there costs.
And this was at a time when we still didn't have any products or weren't making a lot of money. So that $700 meant a lot. And he was like, I'm not sending them. I can't send them. I'm like, I'll pay for it personally.
Now, do you have any feelings because business has ramped up so much in the last, we'll call it 14 months?
Yeah.
Like, are you afraid of a turnaround, or do you believe that this is the new normal?
It's not the new normal. This is it's amplified the effects. So I think of the fitness industry very much like the electric car right now. It's created so much value and attention because of all the people that are being home, being stagnant right now, that it's going to create a new normal, but this is not it, I don't think.
Gotcha. This is a boom.
The electric car right now, as you've seen, has gone rampant because
I'm very happy about it.
I'm sure you are.
Yeah. A little bit of tax. Got some investment there. So,
dude, I owned 100 shares of Tesla at $38 a share.
Oh my God, man.
It'd be worth $250,000 today.
I saw something that was like, if when Tesla launched their first car, if instead you took the same amount of money and just invested it in Tesla, like what that value is.
It's like $7 million.
Oh, it's gross. It's like $9
and that was from like 2014.
Right.
Yeah. Opportunities missed, but
yeah, it's like Bitcoin.
I hoard silver.
Perfect. A coin collector, you say?
Yeah. But
What's your favorite coin you've ever had?
I got a lot of, I like old Spanish coins. So
Okay.
I got a gold two escudo that I wear on a necklace.
Like a doubloon?
Yeah.
No way.
It's from the 1500s, and my dad's a treasure salver. So,
Okay.
so I've gotten a lot of things through him and through friends of his. And
Does he hunt for treasure?
he more of just stumbles upon it. It's kind of weird. He's like me. His entire life is a story of things that should have never happened. It's
All right. Just persistence.
When you look back at it in hindsight, it makes no sense.
I mean, but like, is he doing it out in the water, or is he?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
My father's a modern day pirate.
Fuck yeah.
The most, he's as a pirate as they come.
So find shipwrecks.
Yeah.
And then do you salvage the boat and try to just sell the boat for scrap?
So my parents' company growing up was Marine Towing and Salvage, H2O
Okay.
Marine Towing and Salvage. We used to own a couple franchises of Sea Tow down in South Florida.
Is this how you then have boat stuff to put on your resume later?
Yeah. So by
it.
the time I was 4, I was skipping school and going out on the boat. And,
Hell yeah. All right.
I was diving by the time I was 6 and bringing up 100-foot yachts from the bottom of the ocean by the time I was 8 and driving 150 people around on a 150-foot yacht by the time I was 14.
right.
The water was in my blood. I was born to do it. But no, long train of events happened where the business literally and figuratively sank. It was actually kind of a big deal. Cost us everything.
Yeah.
But no, so I pivoted at that point in time in my life, and I ended up moving to Vermont and trying to figure out everything. And actually, I was watching Shark Tank because I knew I was smart. I just didn't know exactly what to do. I had no direction.
That's fair.
I was a high school dropout and a college dropout, and I just
So you didn't finish high school?
no. I had to drop out of high school. Financial matters from the company sinking had me, having to drop out and go to college. I went to college and I was like, man, this is the same thing as high school, but you got to pay for it.
I hate it.
Yeah. And
I did not care for it
I was
either.
looking the debt go up, and I was like, and I was working, I was working, doing a lot of work and making more money. I was like, I don't need to be doing this. I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I know that. You can't go, no one's going to teach you how to make $1 million. If they could, there's going to be a lot more people in that
LeBron
class.
James didn't go to college.
Yeah. Well,
he's a billionaire.
I also can't
the
ball.
exception proves the rule.
But nonetheless, so, I'm freaking out in Vermont trying to figure out what I was going to do. And I ended up watching Shark Tank every night. And I remember telling myself, I kid you not, the one thing I decided I never want to do with my life is make a piece of fitness equipment.
No.
Because
God damn it.
I'm watching all these.
It just hunted you down.
I'm watching all these
man.
products come out, and they're
slammed.
1,000,001 things. So, and I'm like, man, these things are so getting cornier by the year,
Yeah.
Make something that does one darn thing. And it bothered me so much that I vowed I will never make a piece of fitness equipment. I think God's having some fun with me.
No, man, no
And
joke.
I
right?
have no problem with that because it's been quite a ride.
Yo.
It's a cool adventure, quite
Look,
frankly.
my same thought about that. Like recently, I've had is the kind of the concept that everything's a bit of a simulation type deal. Okay, that's you. And if it is, I'm okay with that.
Whose is it?
Well, so I haven't figured out the pieces enough to decide.
Your simulation seems pretty good, man.
Right. This is the way I feel about it. Is like if there is someone a level out playing,
Sure.
like this is The Sims and we're just watching.
Yep.
I'm really stoked. Like
Yeah.
you're doing a hell of a job, man. Let's keep on it.
Yeah.
Like I'm so glad you don't have me trapped in a cube somewhere, Like just trying to scrape by.
This is great.
This is way more fun.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for doing dumb shit and like designing your house like 13-year-old me would. Yeah. Like, instead of anything else.
I can get behind that simulation theory, but I don't think it's mine.
That's fair enough.
I think I'm a really good sidekick of someone else's story, perhaps, because a lot of this shit that goes on, it's like looking back, how did that happen? What was this process? How did this really take place?
Well, dude, that left or right moment of deciding to talk to Gronk. Like that's a left or right moment that you can trace back to. You don't have that conversation. You're not at this table.
Oh no. So I don't think I'm just one of the computers, the CPUs or whatever you call them.
Yeah. NPCs, non-playable characters.
Non-playable characters. There you go. So
Look at you, Matt.
I'm not sure. So in my simulation theory, I'm not sure yet.
I think
if
it's live.
an MMORPG.
Dude, there's multiple main characters. When you meet those people, they just seem to be getting you. You're on the same level.
I don't believe that everyone else I meet are NPCs.
I have a hard time believing that so many people would choose to be the sidekick or the secondary character, and not be the hero of their own story.
Man, but I was talking about that with someone else. There's a lot of talent in being a really good, like, number two. To being someone's really fucking competent, excellent, like,
that's me.
Like number two. Right. Because, but even you're still a creative and inventor.
Sure.
Whereas, like, I can do the creative side, but the actual getting that into design aesthetic, like, I need someone better to make my thing real. I can do the idea, but just because you have graphic design chops doesn't mean you can run an apparel company and keep coming up with new ideas.
Sure.
And so that part I have, the translation from me directly into something is really bad. But if I have someone who's better at speaking that language, I can translate my idea really well. I just can't make it a reality.
I cannot single-handedly take credit for any of my successes.
Hell yeah.
Not one bit. Not one bit. Because even if you pretend like you do, somebody else had to buy your product, right? They're responsible for your success too. So even if you're the only person that stayed up, pulled all these nighters, coded everything yourself, whatever, launched this website, you still rely on other people for your success.
Well, in the same token, then, do you believe you're not solely responsible for your failures?
Depends on the failure.
Okay.
I'm the first person to run to a problem when it occurs.
Okay.
I like to run towards things rather than away from them. I like to try to do one thing that scares me every single week. This scared me.
Come on.
People have been telling me to shut up for years. You're the first person that ever wanted to record me.
No, man, this is fucking great. You're a fantastic guest. This has been great fun.
Especially
I got you across the river. We'll just come and hang out here and get drunk occasionally and talk shit.
Anytime. But no, so like, by the way, I really do appreciate being on it. I think,
dude, it's not like I'm stoked on the stuff you guys are making, and I'm fascinated by what you guys are doing. I really genuinely am, because I think it's awesome, because you guys are killing it, and you're doing a thing that's different than me, but there's things I could learn.
Yeah.
And I'm interested in learning.
So, with what we're doing, I think the reason why we're standing out is because we're doing everything exactly the opposite way of everybody else.
Okay.
Our marketing is completely different. The way we approach products, the fact that we just call our names by basically the product of our names by their function.
Foam ball.
Thrust pad, Abmat.
Yeah.
But no, we've got a unique flair to this. I don't consider myself a competitive guy,
Sure.
If you were to challenge me in a game of basketball, I wouldn't get worked up about it, especially if I lost. I've never been athletic, but I'm kind of to a point where I'm so competitive. I only like to play the game I'm the only player in.
Oh, okay.
So we've kind of found this kind of niche business model that no one else is doing.
Right. And again, like, there's a huge skill to be able to recognize, hey, there's no one operating in this space. We can kind of do whatever we want.
It's small, it's unnavigated, but it's very voluminous. Where there's one, there's many, and we're finding hundreds.
Right.
And the amount of people that I'm working with, the amount of inventors that I get the opportunity to work with on a daily basis is incredible, from all walks of life, literally all around the world. We got people in Spain. We got people in Norway. We got people in Serbia. We've got people.
Well, this is such a booming market, the U.S., and especially being able to keep costs low enough that you can manufacture it here.
Being an American cider,
being
an American-made manufacturer that deals with 80% of the largest distributors in the country means a lot.
Yeah.
You know, to get to the people that make decisions, I have to pick up the phone and call 6 people.
Well, well, not only that. Now, I mean, if I look back and think back about your story of you starting to ring people up and call people, you've got to be on both sides of that phone call now.
I was denied 34 times before somebody said yes.
Dude, you only need one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like so one of the things that by far helped me the most as far as a life lesson was when doing outside sales in the petrochemical industry. It's a fucking numbers game.
Yeah.
Like I know that if I need to get 10 meetings this week, it's going to take 100 phone calls, or like 10 phone calls for me equals someone's going to answer. Mm-hmm. And then if for every one that answers, 1 out of 10 of those people are going to give me a meeting. Mm-hmm. I got to make 100 phone calls today. That's the numbers.
You hit 3 out of 10 balls, you're a Hall of Famer.
Right, you know? Exactly. And so, don't be mad that that's what the game is.
Oh, I loved it.
Right. That works for me. So it's just numbers.
Every time I got denied, it just kind of reinvigorated my energy.
Especially if you learn from it and you get any type of feedback to sharpen the knife. Mm-hmm. And so, the years I spent doing that, the years that I spent cold calling and being hung up on or told no or any of these other type of things, or going to meetings and it just being a bust, or us landing a job, the job going shit, and then I got to show up to take an ass chewing. Mm-hmm. Because that's my gig. I'm the face. I didn't fuck this job up. I've never turned a fucking wrench in one of these refineries in my entire life. But I can't let the engineer talk to that guy. Yeah. It's essentially the whole thing from Office Space. He's like, so what is it you say you do here, Bob? I'm a goddamn people person. I take the fucking information from the engineers and bring them to the customers so the customers don't have to deal with the goddamn engineers.
I don't think I could accurately describe what I do at Abmat.
Oh, product development. I think
I wear so many hats, and Austin wears so many hats. Like there's some days we're doing the other person's job just because it has convenient
to be done.
So it's kind of weird the way things have worked out.
Right. Like we tried to get together this weekend or 2 weekends ago and do our org chart. Our organizational chart for the company. And it's sloppy as fuck because all of us have to do 9 different things.
Yeah. We've never had we don't have a written business plan, or that if you have a plan, you're probably going to follow it.
I don't think we have. No,
we don't have workflows of exactly how we go about doing things. We're still figuring it out.
Constantly,
and it's forever changing.
Our business plan is just get it done before Thursday.
That's it.
What's Thursday?
Thursdays are drop days. We have to have shit done by Thursday because Friday it no longer matters.
I saw you guys did your photo shoot this last weekend, and you guys were posting photos the next day.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's crazy.
But we did, however, for the first time, we shot the whole month.
Yeah.
That was cool.
So typically we would also now be shooting next week now. And then the following weekend, like I've done 4 or 5 photo shoots a month for 6 years.
Really?
I'm over it. I can only look into the middle distance awkwardly so fucking much.
Yeah. The other cool part about that is, so instead of because like you were saying, we're posting the next day, Sunday is we need to have at least a little something done. So it was just essentially, what's nice about this is I'm going to be starting on that tomorrow. I have 2 or 3 extra, which is, no one understands how ridiculously
that he has an extra 48 hours now built into our thing.
You're telling me I have 2 whole extra full days to work on stuff.
The trick, though, is not saying, well, you mean I only have to go to the store today? Well, that's not going to get done.
See, the thing is I have enough to do.
Yeah, you still aren't just free.
Yeah, see, that's the thing is I have enough to do to where that never crosses my mind because I write everything down I physically write. I write it in my computer in my cloud, iCloud notes, but I write it down too so I can cross it off because when I cross things off in this book, it just fucking feels so
the notes on my phone are so weird.
Yeah, so, dude, my notes section on my phone is
it's terrible.
If AI learning software is taking out information by what humans write in their notes, we are screwed.
Mine's in trouble.
Mine's going to be weird.
Yeah, because some
of the weirdest inventions you'll ever think of.
I mean, I'll come up a concept for a drop, something like this, the Not Dead Yet. This is a refurbished run of one of our taglines, which has been Rest When I'm Dead from Jump. And for me, it all stems from this concept of the only finite resource that we really have is time. And so that makes it really fucking valuable, especially if you start looking at it that way. Like, I mean, you know the feelings people have that you hear these stories about, like, oh, I found out I'm terminally ill or any of these type of things. And so people fucking panic and start rushing their time, and, or the way people do on a vacation. Like, oh, we didn't get enough done. We didn't get enough things. We didn't see the stuff we wanted to and all this. Like, I'd be damned I'm going to feel that way at the end of my run. Yeah. I plan on being tired.
I don't plan on vacations. I just I'm there to, live spontaneously.
Yes. Same thing. Right. And so for me, that's you're not dead yet.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Well, I think you really got a cool adventure going, you man.
Thanks, man.
I think you're living a life that is the type of life that it would make a good book,
Yeah, I'm working on that.
it's an honor to have a little page in it, to be honest.
I really appreciate it, man. This to me has been one of the things that I wish I would have started doing the podcast earlier, but then again, I wouldn't have been able to really properly fund it. Cause I mean, even now, like this is probably episode 165-ish. And so, I mean, we've done an interview every week.
How long have you been doing this?
165 episodes. So one interview a week for 3 years.
Really? So you've consistently done it one every single week?
Yeah. I've missed very few.
Wow.
Like maybe 2.
Wow.
And not only that, prior to this and prior to COVID, I did them all in person.
Yeah.
And no one ever came to me.
You went to everybody else?
Everyone.
Wow.
For 3 years. I pay for that.
Wow.
Because I like doing the podcast. And
you
now
also
the
like
podcast.
To travel.
Yeah. It all works well because I need to film video content.
And also, quite frankly, when you're first starting out and just getting established, you're going to be able to get bigger clientele or bigger, interviewees.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, when you go out and travel to them,
It removes a barrier.
And meeting them on their home turf brings you to a whole nother level too.
It does. And I've really enjoyed that the whole time. But now that I have this space, this space feels way different.
Feels cozy.
Yeah, it feels cozy. And then like the setup of the room and everything, like the rest of the world disappears a bit.
Yeah.
And like this conversation gets really nice and like kind of continues and flows. And so, now looking at it and seeing what guys have built with studios like Rogan or anywhere else or Aubrey or, the other guys I like and listen to, I realize like, man, I wish, or Mark with Power Project, like I wish one of you assholes would have said, yo, building your own studio is super fun. Instead of like, well, it makes sense. Like, no, man, just tell me it's super fucking fun. And it makes me want to do the show more.
I was looking through all of your recent podcasts. I went through them all and I was looking at all these different names that you had on here. I was like scrolling through, seeing some pretty big names. And I was like, man, I think I finally made it.
Yeah. Oh shit, man.
I felt like I leveled up a little bit.
No way, man, dude. I like the thing is, like, I want to talk to anyone that I find fascinating. Like that's the whole purpose of the show. I'm not just chasing someone that's got big fucking follows or any of that type of stuff. Like, I want interesting conversations and I want people that can talk.
I got my mom and my cousin, little Doug,
about a variety of things. You know what I mean? And like, cause my interests are across the board.
Yeah.
I mean, I love strength training, but I don't want to talk about programming with someone who gives a shit. I need to bench, squat, deadlift, and overhead press moderately heavy once a week for the rest of my life. I'll be just fine.
I wouldn't have a whole lot to say on the subject.
Right? But I'm interested in the universe that you've started to create. Or you and Austin. Like it's really, really cool.
We're creating an inventors guild.
Yeah, dude. I super dig
the reason I think we're we're so successful with it is because we're the big company for the little guy.
Yeah.
And we represent something that is innovative. It's different. We're
gonna fucking put it on the goal board. We need to invent a thing in the next 12 months.
All right, I'll figure it out.
Yeah, hey, call me.
No, that's what I'm saying. I want to actually come up with a decent enough idea to present it to you.
You have my phone number, man.
I know. So for me, I immediately look at like, if I have this resource, why would I not fucking try?
What's more valuable to me than an idea is a problem.
Okay.
If you can identify a problem that has not been solved, that is very valuable because there's an unlimited amount of possibilities.
Got it.
An idea is a direct route. If you pulled somebody out of the middle of a jungle and asked them to draw some type of form of transportation to get you from point A to point B, someone who lived in New York City will draw you a car. It'll have 4 wheels and 4 doors and a windshield. That person coming out of the jungle might draw you a spaceship, highly unlikely,
Right.
but it might be slightly more advanced in the car, or
Yeah.
a different way of looking at things. So when we create a product, we do not, the first thing when we recognize a problem is we do not look on the internet to see if there's anything that's been solved.
Okay.
We
because
create the product. We try to solve the solution, solve the problem, find the solution. And at the end of that, then we'll see if it exists, and see, oh, did they do it better? Should we work with them? Is ours superior? So we don't like our designs to be influenced by other people.
no, that's really tricky. So same deal with me and hate. Like I actually had to mute a bunch of other apparel brands. Now I won't mute graphic designers because I'll get inspired. I do a pretty good job of getting inspired, but not too much. Like I like the direction of a thing or like the color palette or something like that. But like, I don't want to look at what my, quote unquote competitors are doing right in the same space because, I don't want too much influence. And I also don't want to block myself away from concepts that like, if they're parallel thinking, they're parallel thinking. How many fucking different ways are we all going to come up with a way to say work harder?
Yeah. Steal like an artist.
Maybe that's right.
But no, what you do is kind of interesting because, with you're all independents. With what I do is I try to, if I was the king of anything, it'd be collaboration.
Sure.
So we try to work with everybody, so if I see a company that's got a product that I think I can help them make it better or direct them with some good advice, I'll reach out to them and give it to them. I connect people and try to just build as many relationships as possible. So whenever someone comes up with a product that is under my umbrella, they call me, they talk to me because I'm the guy that they know has worked with all these different inventors. It's very fair and reasonable to work with. Make things pretty simple. I'm fully transparent. I never overpromise and underdeliver. I always tell people exactly what's going on and exactly what I plan on doing and very transparent, so these people, they like working with us. And that's one of our main qualifiers is whether or not I like working with the other person.
Right.
I could care less of whether your product is going to sell 50 million units.
I mean, it helps.
And trust me, don't
I
get
would
me
rather
wrong.
you be someone I like and you have a product.
That's what got us on the phone.
Yeah, sure.
But if you're intolerable to work with, I
don't need the stress.
I don't need that type of stress.
No, man, it ain't
somebody
that
else has a
valuable.
mousetrap,
Right.
But I like working with every single person that we've done business with, and we work with individuals. We work with just pure inventors that don't own a company. We work with brands, also in terms of helping out with distribution. Every single one of our contracts and our agreements of working with these companies is completely unique. They're all tailor made. There's nothing cookie cutter because no two problems are alike. And I think we've done a really good job of facilitating the needs of certain people and helping them with the aspects that they can't do. So with a lot of these companies that have existing sales with a product, they do really good at their direct to consumer. We work with them and say, hey, how would you like us to manage your wholesaling? We'll manufacture the product ourselves. We'll wholesale the product. We'll pay you a royalty, and you can use that money to fund your advertisements.
Right.
So you can increase your margins drastically. And by us getting you into these distributions, eliminates the competition taking that space. So it's
you now just take the space.
We create win-win-win situations in which we always give the other party two of the wins. So I want 40% of the agreement. I'm fine giving away 60% of it because, again, I invest in the relationships, not the products, because the guy who created the first product is going to be the guy or the girl that creates the second product and the third and the fourth and the fifth. And the fact that they have an easy
and they'll
pipeline,
come back to you.
They do because I'm a phone call away. All you have to do is say,
Fuck,
hey,
I would.
I got an idea. What do you think? All right, let's do it. I've seen it with 2 or 3 of our inventors already.
I tried to, like, after Phil started making all of our stuff and like I had headaches, right? Just because I don't know what I'm doing. And so there's headaches. And so immediately I start trying to think that, well, maybe I'll find someone else to make my stuff. Mm-hmm. And it was a fucking waste of my time. And like, since then, like I came to the realization of what Phil is and the way to operate with Phil and the best way for me to get what I need from him. And then from there, similar to you, what we've done is, so Phil owns the warehouse that all of our stuff is manufactured in and shipped out of. Mm-hmm. There was a screen printer who has renting space from Phil in our warehouse who does the screen printing. Well, he wants out of the business, so we bought the screen printing business.
Okay.
So now that's ours.
Interesting.
Right. So now we're doing the screen printing, so that now bumps HVIII's margin up because now I don't have to pay for screen printing.
Yeah.
But over the last 4 years, we've also started bringing in other brands because I have the key to fulfillment. Like I can take away any of your mechanical problems you have as far as wanting to make apparel.
I was just about to ask you that.
Yeah.
Because
that's exactly what we do.
You're doing the exact same thing that I'm doing, except you're doing it with apparel.
Yeah.
Because right now, I made shirts for Abmat, right? And we're selling them.
Yeah.
But man, I don't know what type of sizes to buy.
Right,
I'm overstocking. So how many of these things won't sell? And I'm sitting here thinking, man, there's so many companies that have good loyal followings that would like to have a shirt. The Abmat brand means something now.
Sure.
It says I buy really innovative fitness equipment. People like to wear that shirt, tell their friends that.
That is what I've heard people want to tell their friends.
Exactly. But, so I have all these different inventors that I work with that all have an idea for their shirt. So I was thinking about doing this, pre-sale kind of rollout where the first 2 weeks of every month, I'll do a pre-sale of a shirt and then fulfill it the last 2 weeks and wait for the next 2 weeks to launch another one. I could do that, book 12 shirts out for the year. Mm-hmm. And all these people have really good ideas for a shirt. And I was thinking, man, I could do this, So now if I sell it like this, I know exactly how many I need to buy, so I don't have any overages, and whether the shirt's successful or not, I'm not losing anything.
The hardest problem with that is the delay between order and shipping, because we live in an Amazon world.
Everybody wants it the next day.
What the fuck you mean it's not? You mean you're shipping later this month on a T-shirt,
and you're charging me for it? So
that
I was
that
thinking
part becomes tricky.
maybe I could just lower the cost of the shirt and promote that we're doing it at a lower margin in an effort to save, I don't know, resources, environment,
Sure,
wasted money, whatever. But it occurred to me after we made 40, 50 shirts, and so far we sold 3, but we sell like tens of thousands of everything else.
Yeah, we should not worry about shirts.
What are we doing?
Yeah, what are we doing? We have lost focus.
But so nonetheless, I have all these different designs for these shirts from all these inventors that we work with that I'd like to do something with them, but
we can help.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we don't run any crazy high, minimum quantities.
Okay.
And we can very easily manufacture them and ship them to you. And then since you already have distribution, that's easy.
Okay.
But really where we would be helpful is in the fulfillment side. I mean, you can get shirts printed.
I don't have a place to put them. Our factory is at like 95% occupancy right now. But we've got more space.
So the only issue with that, right, is then if people are still buying stuff direct from you, which they would be buying these shirts.
Yes.
Right? You don't want them shipping from 2 different locations.
Can't drop ship?
You can, but that means you're eating the shit. So that like if you're shipping a foam ball to someone from your spot and we're shipping 2 shirts and a hoodie from our spot, who's paying? Because normally you could piggyback the shipping.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, I do some drop shipping with some products on our website, and I just bake in the shipping of what they do for flat rate.
Right, but now you're drop shipping from 2 different places.
Yeah.
And so like hitting someone for $15 shipping on a couple, whatever, like additional would be on top of whatever it is, so $6 or $7 on top of what you're already paying for the foam ball.
What's great about t-shirts though, man, is most of your things weigh less than a pound.
You can ship it across the
US for $3.50.
And dude, we do priority shipping on everything, so we get 2-day and get tracking info.
I sent a couple sets of one set of crash cushions to Alaska the other day. It was like $180. It was
dude,
like, gosh.
Where people are really golden in this whole line of work is like what I've seen like Steffi and Hayden do with hybrid, like with
programming.
Oh man,
the non-tangibles that you don't even have to mail.
You don't have a thing to
ship. You can scale it
you
so
don't have
fast. I was thinking about that 2 or 3 days ago.
And like their ability to create the software, that's what they've done well. Their magic is not programming. They've made really great software, and the programming is fucking great.
Yeah.
Right. Like, so it's double edged for them, and they have just been able to scale and run with it.
I've noticed the value of intangibles just recently in content creation and these influencers that I know people on Instagram that promote other companies' products and make 6 figures a year on affiliate fees.
I occasionally
sell
things. Yeah.
Oh.
I've had some deals that have been good. But like Coop kills it.
Oh gosh, man, I don't know how many garages this guy has, but
He kills it because
four.
majority of his stuff is through the affiliate sales off of his website that
And his
like,
YouTube
shows
page
all the,
is pretty substantial.
But the YouTube page is pretty substantial, but it doesn't pay a ton. The affiliate sales are what's driving his business.
Yeah, I remember the first time Coop ever reached out to us was for the medicine ball. It saw a drop and he reached out. He's like, "Hey, how'd you like a review?" I was like, "Austin, we're on the map."
Dude, Coop's great.
You know?
Have you not met him?
No.
So he's in Springfield.
Yeah, I saw what he gave me his address. I was like, he's not far.
Yeah, no. He's a fucking awesome guy.
Really?
Yeah. I'll get him up here too.
Okay.
He'll for sure come up once it's done because I'd like a review of my garage gym.
No, I've been out and I saw Jake last year with Garage Gym Experiment. He was one of the.
I don't know him.
Oh, he does a garage gym blog basically on Instagram, and he does a really good job with it. He keeps a lot of people updated on stock updates since the pandemic. But no, he does these hot or not surveys, you know, so he'll ask questions about and get raw information from a very large group of people in the fitness industry. And it's for me, and then he'll post all the results the next day. So he'll basically give you like a industry data sheet of what people like. And it's been so valuable to me.
Yeah, I fucking bet. That's right.
I've told him like 6 or 7 times, like if you were to publish like every single one of your Sunday surveys into a book and sell it for a couple $100 at the end of the year, I'd buy it.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of companies that would. But no, he was one of the first people that showed me the time of day when I was trying to find people to influence the Ab Amigo when we first started getting going. And so I went out and saw him. He was a real cool guy.
Well, dude, I think we're about there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've killed it.
It's been a pleasure being here, man.
What time are we at, Brant?
Hour 40.
An hour and 40 minutes. Yeah.
That was an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah, that was an hour 40. That was a really good podcast.
That was a lot of fun,
that was
dude.
really good.
We'll do this again.
I'd like to thank our sponsors, Abmat.
We'll do this again. You can smoke a cigar. And yeah, dude, tell everyone where to find your stuff. We'll have some review videos coming up of your new Rubox.
Okay.
Goes together way faster with the drill, like you said. I did the first one with my
I like to crank
hand.
the wrenches myself. But no, we got some really cool stuff coming out within the next couple of months. Some really major game changers that I'm very excited about, and I can't wait to share them with you. You'll be one of the first people to get them.
Oh, man. Hell yeah.
But, you're on my list of the free stuff.
Oh, no way.
Free stuff list now.
Dude. And look, since you're in St. Louis, and I know that you're over there across the river most of the time with work, but if you're ever on this side of the river and trying to find a place to train, dope's yours.
I'll be here. But no, man, it's been an absolute pleasure. You can check out Abmat and all of our products on abmat.com. You could follow us on Instagram at Abmat. We had to buy that from a guy named Abraham Matthew for $500 2 years ago.
I wish I could buy Matt Vincent.
We're very proud of that. But no, man, it's been a pleasure being here. It's been a lot of fun.
Dude, thank you so much. And thank you guys for listening. And look for the reviews and give us a 5-star review on the old iTunes. We appreciate that. Yeah. And check out Abmat, man.
Love you, Mom.
Hell yeah.